unconscious incompetence, and that means you don't know that you don't know something. There's stuff out there that you didn't even know you didn't know. So for instance, discovery, that whole thing, like there's stuff out there that's universal, all these principles and stuff, but they're out there and there's so many of them, but we don't even know that they're there to know. We don't know which ones. Anyway, the whole point is you're unconsciously incompetent. Like for instance, the first time you go to a challenge course and you never seen somebody belay before, you didn't even know that there was a concept of belay. Like what is that, you know? And then when you go to the course and you see somebody belaying, then you realize you have conscious incompetence. You go, oh, now I'm aware that I don't know that. And that's so, know that you don't know. And then the next step is conscious competence. And this is kind of like, you're doing the process, you're like belaying somebody, right? But you have to think about what you're doing while you do it, right? So you're being conscious and you're competently doing it. And then the next stage is unconscious competence. It's hard to pronounce. And that is to the point where you've been doing it for so long that it just becomes like muscle memory, and you can think about other stuff while you're belaying, and you can do it very effectively. And like driving, yeah. When you first learn how to drive, it's like, okay, blinker, okay, look, you know, and you gotta memorize everything to do. But now you could be on a cell phone. Let's get into the law, but you can be on the cell phone and eating a sandwich and stick shift because it's just you've gotten so used to it. You're unconscious. You have unconscious competence. And so that happens when we're belaying, right? We've been belaying so long that I could be like talking to my buddy on the side, like, hey, how's it going? How's life? Da 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 da. But still, that person's totally fine and safe, or low risk. And then the last stage is metaconscious, and this has to do with, yeah, I may know how to do it really well, and like it's in my muscle memory, and I don't know how to think about it. But being metaconscious is like, okay, well, how are others perceiving me, right? So if I'm belaying somebody and they're up there and they're kind of in their growth zone and they're looking down and I'm just kind of talking to this person, cracking jokes, how are they going to feel about that? Is that best supporting them? Is that best loving them? And I would probably say no. So as facilitators, we really want to be metaconscious, like how am I being perceived to the group? For instance, at the beginning of the day, that's a good question to ask, like the clothes I'm wearing, my face, I mean, I shaved for this training, just so there's a little more like credibility, like I'm being metaconscious, like how I'm being perceived by a group. And when you guys are briefed at the beginning of the day, it's good to look at, with the lead facilitator, when you're looking at the group info sheet, it's good to look at what group is coming, and what do we need to be metaconscious about? What vocabulary should we probably steer clear of, or maybe some words we should be intentional about to use. I had a Jewish group come out, and I said, it's not kosher to use something like a harness this way. And I didn't even realize what I was saying. I just kind of used it as a joke. And they took it really well. They thought it was funny. And I didn't even realize that it was funny to them because I forgot that they were a Jewish group. They're like, haha, kosher, real good. But if they were a sensitive group, that probably wouldn't have been the best word to have used. That wouldn't have been metaconscious. So yeah, aware of how others may be perceiving you while doing it. And Daniel at the leadership training put this into a circle, which is really cool. And it has to do with kind of the best way to learn is to teach. So we get unconscious competence about something, but we might not really completely know it until we take it off ourselves and teach somebody else. So being like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do this, and then the circle starts over. How do you guys think it's high risk to facilitate in stage 4 on the high course?
You're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm driving to like Burt's, I'll end up accidentally going to school because I just wasn't thinking about it. Because I'm like, oh, I'm driving. Oh, I didn't even get on the right road. I just went on the wrong one. So like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm not actually paying attention.
Exactly.
This is not safe anymore.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah, when Groth and I are working on the course, like, it's just so natural, the whole lobster claw transfer thing. But if I'm not, like, being consciously competent, like realizing, like, saying, if I do this lobster claw thing wrong, I could die, I could fall and die.